Welcome back to the Cage Walk podcast with Kayla, presented by OddSmokerMMA. I'm your host, Kayla. Tonight, I have Marquis, Pinaula here with me. I'm so excited to have you on. How are you doing?
I'm good. I'm good. Just got off work not too long ago. Yeah.
I understand that. Same here. um, well, again, thank you for jumping on. So we previously already talked about what we're going to talk about and whatnot. So let's just go ahead and jump into it. So, we really wanted to talk about your story tonight, and how that's impacted your life, your MMA career and all that. So why don't we start right at the beginning? Why don't we talk about your childhood? Um, you know, talk about your family dynamics and how that might have, drifted you off to a path that you didn't want to go down and stuff like that.
All right. Okay. We start on my. I was raised by a single mom. Um, I grew like I was originally born in Texas, but I moved to Guam because that's where my mom's from. My whole family's from. I moved there when I was like a baby, like probably one, and then yeah, I didn't have a dad. I had stepdads, a bunch of stepdads. Yeah, I played sports my whole childhood, all the way up to like I was 18. Yeah. Yeah, I went to public school for one. Yeah, that's where all the trouble started. That's how I. Yeah, I was always getting into fights, getting kicked out of school, and but I played baseball growing up. That was like my favorite sport. And then when I didn't play anymore, that's when it went downhill from there. I started getting into like real trouble, like with the law and stuff. Uh,
Mm.
yeah, when I turned 18, I first got arrested for something I didn't do. Obviously, that's what everyone says, but it was like one of those things where I really didn't do it. It's just I was at the wrong place at the wrong time. And then I went to jail for like 2 days, and then I got released. And then after that, I started doing drugs, like hard drugs. I started smoking meth,
Mm.
like when I turned 18, and then it like a year later it turned to shooting it up, like injecting it all the way. Yeah, all the way. I just quit like three, going on 4 years. So I've been sober for 4 years now. So
That's amazing.
yeah, I don't even smoke cigarettes. I used to smoke cigarettes, but then when I told myself I was gonna start training, is when I quit. I was like, I'm gonna quit smoking now because I don't want it to catch up to me while I first start training. So I quit smoking. But uh, okay, we'll backtrack. I was or 2020 or 2017 or 16, 15. I got arrested for stealing a motorcycle. I think I was 21, 22. And then I went to jail for that for like 2 months. Then I was on house arrest for like a while, a pretty long while. And after that, I was on parole. And then I violated my parole, went back to jail. I went to prison for like 3 years. And then I violated my parole while I was in jail or in prison. And I got more time added to that. I fought with a DOC officer in there before my parole hearing. Like literally, my parole hearing was the next day to get out of jail, and I, I, I kind of messed it up by like fighting with the officer, and then it became this whole thing where they stopped my visitation. My mom didn't know what was going on. My mom didn't even know what happened, and my face was all like bloodied and bruised, and they're like doing everything they could to like not make my mom see me and see what happened to me and stuff like that. So I was going through that, but what brought me there actually was uh, me and my girlfriend. We got into an argument, and then my mom called the cops, and then they arrested me. And like, if you're on parole, like if like the cops come, you're automatically gonna go to jail. Doesn't matter what. Like, so I went to
Mhm.
jail, and then parole held me to finish the remainder of my parole time there. Yeah, but and before that, sorry, I keep jumping. Like my story keeps.
This is your story.
Yeah, and then, but before that, 2017 July July 17, 2017, I tried to kill myself. I hung myself off my balcony, and I'm surprised I wasn't dead because I was hanging for a while. And by the time they found me, I already had pissed myself and everything. And my girlfriend at the time, she cut the extension cord that I used. So like sorry, I fell on my face and I woke up in the ICU like 3 days later, and I didn't had no idea what happened. I didn't even know I hung myself. I woke up in the ICU and I woke up to like lights in my face, and I thought the first thing that was running through my mind was my organs are getting harvested. Like I was in Mexico or something. That's what I was thinking. I was going crazy. Like I was, and then I ended up pulling. I had tubes going down my throat to my lungs, and then I pulled it out, and then like the nurses started panicking, and then they had to strap me down, and yeah, and then they put me in like mental health after that for a little bit. So yeah, I went through that, and then the drug habit just got worse, and worse. It like eventually it like messed up my kidneys to where like one day I was shooting up, and then I went to go pee, and I was pissing blood, and I started freaking out. My mom took me to the hospital. It was this whole thing, and I still didn't learn my lesson. After that, once I got out of the hospital, I started doing it again, and then yeah, it kind of messed up my kidneys for a little bit. Like even now, like before my fight, this fight that I just had recently, Allen fights, I was peeing blood like for the first like 2 weeks, but 2 weeks before my camp, I was peeing blood, and I was freaking out. And I think it had something to do with like the weight cut with the water, flushing out your kidneys and stuff. I think it had something to do with that. But yeah, yeah, I tried to kill myself that time, and it it scared me. It scared me because I didn't think I had that in me to do that. It takes like a lot. But I was like, at that point in my life, I didn't care about anybody else's like feelings. I didn't care what my mom, like how it would make my mom feel. I didn't care how it made my sisters feel because I'm the only boy out of three sisters.
Oh
And,
wow.
yeah, so I didn't care how they felt. I was just selfish. I was like a monster. All it was going out, getting high, fixing car, like working on cars, riding my motorcycle like all hours of the night. Not don't even come home for like weeks, stuff like that. And yeah, and then I ended up getting arrested again for the same girl. And then my mom, when I got bailed out by my mom or my cousin, bailed me out. I left Guam. I fled. Like basically, I'm on the run right now from Guam. So like my friends that are like work in like the law enforcement and stuff, they tell me that you got an active warrant, and I tried getting pulled over here in Alabama, and they told me about my warrant. They're like, you have an active warrant back in Guam. I was like, oh, I didn't know that, but I did. But yeah, but from what I hear, they're not gonna come get me because like I didn't kill nobody. I didn't. It's just I violated my plea deal, and I just that was the only way I can like better my life was to leave, like because like every time I went to court for my other cases, we would ask the judge if I can leave, like to try to better myself and stuff, and they would never let me want. They never wanted me to leave, so I was always getting in trouble still. And till one day I just left. I only left with like a bag of clothes, and
Wow.
I went straight to Colorado, and then because that's where my mom was staying, and then from there I found out drugs is way cheaper there, because on Guam for a gram of meth is like at the time was like $400. When I came to Colorado, it was like $30. I was like, why quit? It's cheaper. So I was doing the same thing. I was working, but I was just doing it just to support my habit. And then I got arrested again in Colorado for drugs, and I got lucky with that. I bailed myself out with that one, and then I had to like do all these court cases or these court stuff. Like I didn't get community service. I had to go to like a rehabilitation thing, but I did it
Mhm.
here. Uh, After I left Colorado, I did it here, but I didn't have to stay in like the rehab or nothing. I just told them I started training. I found a new outlet. Like I don't even do drugs no more. I don't want to. They're like, but you gotta stay here. You gotta be here and do your process or whatever. I was like, I don't want to be around other druggies. It's gonna make me want to do drugs. So like they're giving me a hard time about it, but then they finally came to an agreement. The lady wrote me a letter to the judge saying that he found an outlet. He's trained. He does jujitsu and stuff. This is before I fought, like how to fight. Yeah, and then what you call it? Yeah, so
Can I
then
interrupt real quick?
hmm?
Can I interrupt real quick?
Yeah,
So you're talking about jiu-jitsu. Who did you meet or what got you into it?
what got me into it? Like, okay, my family back home, they do it, and I used to like do it, but just for fun. It's just I didn't really take it serious. Like back home, we would have these things called undergrounds, where like you would like meet with somebody from another school or anywhere, and you would like put on gloves and fight. You know, so that's what we would do, like some never back down stuff, type stuff. You know. And then I got into that, so I would every time after school I would like find an opponent and we would fight, you know. But yeah, well, who got me into it was me and my cousins. We would watch the promotion here. They had a promotion, or back home they had a promotion called Pacific Extreme Combat, where like they would fight, you know, like it was like a UFC type deal, whatever. But we would watch that and we would always like spar with each other, box with each other, and we always wanted to do that. We're like, when I grow up, we're gonna do that. And then life happened. We none of us did it, and then I ended up wanting to pursue it because when I was at the end of my ropes, when I moved to Alabama, when I first moved here, my dad, me and my dad got into it. We bumped heads because this is like basically my not first time meeting, like second time meeting. They told me to come here because in Colorado I was like kind of like homeless. I was living in my car, and I was just like getting high. I didn't care because I was always high. I was just like on the move. Like I was just on the move, and I ended up driving here one day. I just said, you know what, forget it. I'm just gonna come here and maybe I'll be better here. Came here. My dad, me and my dad got into it the day I got here, and the sheriffs had to come and escort me out of the house. And I was freaking out because I had drugs that I had brought from Colorado. So like, I got kicked out. I had no internet, no nothing on my phone. So I went to the nearest McDonald's and I was like, Mom, I don't know where to go. Like, I don't know what to do. I don't got no money. So she gave me money to buy a motel. I bought a motel down in Talladega. It's called the Budget Inn. Yeah, that was the where I like decided to change my life. When here's how it went. I was running out of drugs, and I was like, I'm gonna make it. I'm gonna try to make meth. So I I tried to make meth in a hotel or in a motel room, and like it failed miserably. Like the whole compound smelled like chemicals, smoke coming out of my room, and I was like, "Fuck, I'm gonna get arrested." Oh, sorry if I cuss. Sorry. Um,
You're fine.
I'm gonna get arrested. You know, I was like, "Man, all of this for this?" You know, like I need to change my life. So like when the smoke all cleared, and I was like in my room, I was laying down. I was looking at my drugs. I was like, "Man, I only got enough to get high one more time." So I got high one more time. When I ran out, I was just laying on the bed, and I was like, what am I gonna do with my life? Like, I don't want to be known as a druggie. I didn't want to be like a disappointment to my family. You know, I wanted to do something better. So I was just laying down. I was like, I know what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna get a job, and the first paycheck I get, I'm gonna go sign up to a gym. So that's what I did. I looked up like the closest MMA gym, and so when I got a job doing HVAC, my first paycheck I signed up for a gym. This is I don't want to name the gym because it turned out to be like not. It was like a bad place for me. Me and my best friend Flira, that's where I met him at that gym. And yeah, I went there, trained there for like almost 2 years, and then they kicked Flira out, so I left with them, and we ended up at Cobra.
We were go way back.
Huh? Like we've been friends, like best friends for like 3.5 years.
Okay.
Yeah, and what made us really close was I would like the first thing I said to him in the gym when I first saw him was like, I love the hair. You know, because he has a nice
That's
mullet.
how I met
Yeah,
him.
he has a sick mullet. But yeah, I saw him, and then we just got close. Like we would compete. We'll go to like I'll go compete at tournaments, and he'll be there and his wife, and it'll just be like us three or like other like not a lot of us, but we'll go compete representing that gym, and like for like a couple like for a while it'll just be us, you know, and we got close, and I would go to his house every Saturday to watch the fights. And then one day we were at the gym, and I said, "This is when I had moved in with my sister because like she had to get a house because she was tired of me just like staying in my car or like getting like extended stays to live in like motels. So she kind of got tired of it because she was living with my dad and I wasn't allowed there. So she got a place to stay so I could live with her. And then when the lease was up, I had nowhere to go because her new house that or her new place that she got was only a 2 bedroom and she has 2 kids and her husband. So I had nowhere to sleep. So I was like, I don't want to stay here and sleep on the couch. I'm a grown man. I'd rather sleep in my car or figure it out. And then I was in my car crying because I was like, man, right when my life was getting good, this happens. Like, so I was like, I think I'm just gonna go back to Guam. I don't want to be homeless here no more in the States. I don't know nobody here. I just want I'd rather be back home where I can go anywhere. Like I have so many family friends there that but really didn't want to go back because I'm gonna end up doing drugs again, and
Yeah.
that's a fact. That's a fact. And like so, Fleeray one day he told me we'll figure it out. So I was like, what does he mean? We'll figure it out. I'm like, I need to stay somewhere now. But I didn't say that. So one day before I came over to a fight, I was in my motel. I was laying down on the bed. We were just FaceTiming. And he noticed what he told me he noticed was I had a t-shirt over my pillow, like as a pillowcase. So he knew that kind of like seeing that he's like, oh, he's down bad. He's using a t-shirt as a pillowcase. So he's like, how's it you come move in with us? And I was like, for real? He's like, yeah, we'll get you a bed. And then like sure enough that day I came and moved in. And since then I just been living with them, chilling with them since then. So he's like the best friend that anybody can ask for. Like great person. And he's the one who made me like want to become a Christian because I grew up Catholic, and I was like he's like one of the good people. Him and his wife are one of the good people I met. So I'm like, they're Christians. I want to be a Christian because they're so good people. Like so. I ended up like being a good person. And then what like solidified me being a Christian was last year September. I went to Kirk's Gym in Tuscaloosa, and that's the Lord's Gym. That's the place where it's like it's the Lord's Gym. That's what Kurt says, and that's how you feel when you go there. And I went there, and I just felt like I belonged there. I felt like graceful. I felt forgiven for something. What that feeling when your parents like forgive you for being bad, and you're like, oh, that's all I ever wanted. Like that's how I felt. And what Kurt told me, he told me that was God. And at that time, I was kind of going through like a rough depression part in my life. And then since I got baptized down there in Tuscaloosa, the gym there, and since then my life's just been great. Even though I have like struggles, I don't see it that way. I don't stress about it, and it always works out. It always works out. So yeah, that's why Kurt's always in my corner because I feel like I need him there.
Hmm.
He's a great guy. Great guy.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Wow.
I
That's
mean, there's more. There's like more to it, like little avenues we can go in. It's just I don't want to like criminalize some people, or I don't want to like get other people in trouble. But I've done some crazy things, and like I wish I could share it. It's just I don't want them to be like, why you say all that? You're gonna get
But
in trouble.
we can talk about that off
Yeah,
here if you want. But yeah, no.
but
But
for the most part,
wow.
yeah, that's what made me start training was I wanted to do something that I always wanted to do when I was a kid, and the fact that I'm doing it, and the fact that I met so much great people here, and like the best feeling I had was like knowing that kids look up to me after like then they know a lot of them know like I used to be like in jail, prison and stuff. Then they see the face tattoos, they think I'm a bad person. But these kids, they don't see that. They're so innocent. They love me. I go to the gym and they're like, "Hi, Guami," and this and that. And like I got messages from like kids' parents telling me like, "My son looks up to you," this and that. And I'm just like, that that right there, like man, I never thought that would happen to me. Being like this criminal, druggy person, I never thought a kid would look up to me like ever. And it's a good feeling. It's like a feeling I'm addicted to. Yeah, so
that I can totally relate to everything you just talked about.
Yeah,
Um, I'm in recovery. July I'll have 6 years.
nice.
Yeah, I started real young too. Started with meth, and then it went to cocaine, and then fentanyl or heroin, then fentanyl, and
Okay.
the suicide. I get it. I've been there. That's what got me clean. I intentionally overdosed, and I was unresponsive for 5 days. And that was not the first time I had overdosed, but it was the first time I intentionally had done it. And they had called my parents, and they weren't sure I was going to make it. And even though it was intentional, when I came to, I was like, it's time to make a change.
Yeah,
So there's always, for those who make it, and I know and there's some people who don't make it through the addiction, and it's terrible. But those who do make it, there it's just all of a sudden it's a let me get my shit together, you
yeah.
know.
And I have a lot of
And
friends. Sorry,
no,
continue.
go ahead.
I have like a lot of friends that are still doing it, and like I really wanted them to stop because it ain't cool no more. Drugs ain't cool no more. That like that partying
Were
stuff.
they ever though?
Huh?
So were they ever though, or do we just think they
Yeah,
were?
it was like it's a selfish coolness that it was like we thought it was
Yeah.
cool, like but yeah, like I have a lot of friends that still do it, and I see them like how it changes them. I'm like, man, I used to look crazy like that, but I didn't think
Mhm.
so, and a lot of them, like some of them quit, some of them like reach out to me. I still talk to some of them, but it's just hard, like because I felt like a hypocrite trying to tell them like, you shouldn't do that, you shouldn't do this, but I changed
But
my
it
life, and I
don't
changed my
look
life.
at me as a hypocrite though, because you lived it, you went through it, and you found a better life,
Yeah.
you know? So don't ever think you're being a hypocrite telling someone not to do it. The way I've done it, for those who like people who I don't want to say like the way I'm gonna say it's gonna sound really weird, but like recently started doing drugs.
Hmm.
I tell them like, hey, I lived that life for you.
Yeah.
Don't do it.
Yeah.
I have been there for you. It's not the path you want to go down. So
Yeah.
it's not being a hypocrite. It's saving someone's life.
Hmm.
'Cause, I mean the statistics. Just I can't ever say that word.
Statistic.
More people die using it than they don't. Like more people die than those who get saved. You know,
Hmm.
so it's like definitely don't ever think you're being a hypocrite.
All
That's
right.
for sure.
All right.
And I'm so glad that you found an outlet, and if I'm not mistaken, you have a girlfriend or a fiance or
Yeah.
something.
Fiance.
I think I saw that she had followed me, and I saw the little ring post.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
that's amazing. You
Broke now
found
because of that.
someone.
So.
You said what?
So I'm broke now because of that. So.
But congratulations. So that just happened recently.
Yeah. Like yeah. I just sent her that ring like last week.
Wow. Well, congratulations.
Thank you.
That's amazing.
Thank you.
So you can look back on this, and see the life that you have now. I know. I'm so happy I got to meet Leroy. Look, the first thing I said, literally the first thing that I said to him was, "I love your hair, man." And then it unraveled from there. Like he's such a funny person. I finally,
Yeah.
I haven't met Jessica yet. We got to talk a little bit on Instagram. And definitely great people there that
Yeah.
you got, that they have your back, and your fiance. And man, I don't know you well. Obviously,
Yeah.
I've only met you once. One, the fight you put on was a hell of a fight. I hate you lost that fight, but I know that you're going to win your next one.
Man, I like I didn't like as much as I wasn't feeling good, and I shouldn't have took that, or I shouldn't have fought, even though I was. But like I don't pull out of fights. See. I don't I don't choose fights. Like whatever they give me, we're like whoever I'm fighting, we're the same. We're the same. That's how I see it. We're men, and I
Mhm.
just like competition to see who's the better man. And he was the better man. But I just hope after this next fight, when they find me a new guy, another guy, they give me another shot at that because I'll be like
Oh, yeah.
fully healthy. And because yeah, that was the first time I ever went to a second round.
Really?
Yeah, I always told myself I'm gonna end it. It's either I'm gonna get finished in the first or they're gonna get finished in the first. I don't. But we made it to the second round. And I was like, oh shit, this is what it feels like to sit on a stool.
Wow,
you know,
that's insane.
because I like to start off. I like to just start off like hot and heavy, like.
And you showed that. That's for sure. You didn't hesitate. You went and
And what kind of like offended me was like it didn't hurt my feelings or anything. It just like the part where I saw like a post from them like no glove, like they're just talking crap about me about no, I didn't touch his gloves. Like we're fighting. Like we touched gloves when the ref gave us we touched gloves in the beginning. We don't have to touch gloves like 5 times.
Yeah.
And
I Go ahead.
yeah, like we touched gloves already twice in the center. When we first walked up to each other, touched gloves, and then the ref asked if we want to touch gloves. We touched gloves. I'm not gonna touch your gloves the third time. Like it would touch gloves at the third round if it got to that, But that was the only part that I was upset about. I'm like, man, it made me feel like they made me feel like I was like a cheater, a cheap shot, or but
Nah, but the way I look at it, I mean, some people have that view. Some people don't touch gloves with their opponents because they hate their opponent. But at the same time, whether your opponent, touch gloves or not, you got to be ready.
yeah, yeah,
You know, like, I mean, that's just never let your guard down.
yeah,
But
exactly. Because I've seen videos where they try to touch gloves and they get knocked out right in the beginning. I'm like, that ain't gonna
yes,
be me.
there was one boxing match that I was at.
Hmm.
Um, he went to go touch his opponent's gloves and he knocked him out and he went through the ring.
Yeah, so that ain't gonna be me.
No,
You know.
but
Yeah.
yeah, it was definitely that was insane. That was insane. But man, I am like I said, this is what I was getting at. I don't know you. I've met you once. We've talked, whatever. But I'm proud of you. From one addict to another who's
Thank you.
got a shit life and has done some crazy stuff.
Yeah,
I love seeing these stories or hearing these stories of people coming out of the addiction and creating a better life for themselves. Like you seem to have it going right now and having a great life. When can we see you back in the cage
dude.
for
As soon as
ringing?
possible. As soon as possible, dude. Like that's. I want to fight the next card they got. I think that's like in like what, June.
And then you gotta look at other promotions too. I
Yeah,
think
yeah.
Island Fight's an amazing promotion, but there's so many promotions to get as many fights as you can get um that oh get all the rounds you can, man, because I know you want to go pro and
Yeah.
you need all the not practice because when you're going in there it's not practice, but you know what I mean.
Yeah.
Like you need all the experience. That's what I was trying to get. The word I was trying to get out. Experience that you can get so you can build up. I don't know how many. I'm not sure how many fights you've had, but what's it looking like going pro?
Yeah. I want to wait till I feel like at least maybe 6 more fights. I'll probably be ready. I'll already be tuned in by then. I'll probably. It's just like a lot of times. It's like recently, it's kind of hard to train as much as I used to because my job
Mm-hmm.
and my job is like when I like for that fight, I didn't even like how I cut weight was work because I was basically working. I was sick. I couldn't train. I didn't want to get no one sick at the gym. Uh, so I went to the sauna like twice before weigh-ins. Uh, yeah, and I only like hit pads twice, like leading up to the fight, sparred twice. That was it, and I just basically starved myself because I didn't want to like eat and can't lose the weight because I was like bedridden. I was in my bed the whole time.
Oh
So
wow.
yeah, so I was glad I made the weight. Fought. I think I still did great for a sick guy and stuff. But the next one, it's gonna be like fireworks. I'm gonna shake the room. I'm gonna be super. I'm super confident because I was like, dude, I still perform really good like that. Imagine
Yeah.
super healthy. I knocked out a guy who weighed 13 pounds heavier than me, and I didn't know that until we got to weigh in on the scale, and he was 138, and we're supposed to be 125, 126 the most. And I said, "We're here. I'm here to fight. I drove down here. Let's fight." And he's like, "My man." I was like, "I'm about to beat you up, dude. Like, what are you talking about?" And then,
That's
yeah, he didn't even
crazy.
touch me. Like I only got touched like out of 4 fights. I only got touched on my face twice.
Oh wow.
Twice. The recent one was I only got hit once. If you watch it, I only got hit once. And then when he was doing the flurry, none of them connected to my face. It was just like the side of my head.
Yeah.
But yeah, I know what it's like to get hit real hard, and I have yet to have like a adversary do that to me yet. And I want it. I want. That's the test. I want to see like the adversity, getting hit real hard, to see if I'm gonna make that decision if I really want to be here or not. And it's always gonna be I want to be here. Like, I just want somebody really game. I just it's more fun. I like the feeling of being in danger. You know, like it's like I feel like I perform more better.
Yeah, the adrenaline kicks in.
But I wasn't. This is the first fight I wasn't nervous. I was more nervous. The most nervous I ever got was against. It was my second fight against this guy named Adam Wood. He's a kickboxer. And I was like, this guy's gonna. This guy's a good kickboxer, you know. But yeah, that was the only most nervous I ever got was to that guy. That was it. Then I fought. My first fight was this guy named Blake Robinson.
I know Blake. I work with Blake.
Yeah. Blake's a cool dude. Yeah, I lost to him. Yeah, my first fight. Yeah.
He just recently graduated from the fire academy.
Huh?
He just recently
Oh
graduated from the fire academy.
yeah,
Yeah, he's a cool dude. His merch design, we did that one for him.
yeah. I saw that. I was like, nice. Yeah,
Yeah, he's definitely a cool man.
yeah.
Um, I really can't wait to see you grow and blossom. I say blossom. That's such a girly thing to say. I'm so
Yeah, I like the
sorry.
blossom. I like girly things, dude.
Yeah, but for real, in your career, I love, like I said a little bit ago, like these stories, man. Like people look down at us as junkies and like we're useless and worthless. And at the time, yeah, I'm not gonna lie, I was useless as hell.
Yeah,
You
me
know,
too.
I was taking up air. You know, I was living under a bridge or in a car, and like, I mean, I was homeless. There were several nights I slept on the street. You know, and
Hmm.
I'm only 18, 19 at the time
Yeah,
when this started, and I mean, I really like ruined my life at the time, and now like when I talk to people and I see where they've what they've become is just amazing. And I'm not saying I haven't become anything. I think with me personally too, I've come such a long way, like I'm a mom, I'm a wife, I have a business, I have a podcast, I'm working with promotions, I have an amazing job that I actually love,
yeah. I could tell. I could tell you love it for sure.
Yeah, I do. As tiring as it is, I love it. I
Yeah,
love making a difference in these kids' lives,
yeah,
And for you, it's MMA and boxing, and
yeah.
you found your calling for that, but you did it in the right way too. Yeah, you grew up fighting on the streets, getting in fights, whatever.
Hmm.
But you took that passion, you brought it in to here, where you can actually gain something from it, rather than going to jail.
Yeah. And where I got that inspiration from, to be honest, was I used to go to his gym every now and then back home when I was younger. But he fights for BKFC now. His name's Alex Castro. He fights May 2nd in Clearwater. So yeah, he's like one of the inspiration because when I was in prison, I seen him in there too, and he remembered me at the time too. And he came out, he just booming. Like his businesses are up there. His career is good. Like it's a very inspirational because he was like in prison a lot too. He was like a bad name at the time. Like people always
Mhm.
said he was bad and stuff, but he was ever since I met him. He like when I was young, he has always been good. He's always been like respectful. He never treated like me any other different. And now
That's what I respect.
yeah, now he represents Guam fighting, and I want to be like that. Like I see all these like Guam like sports network, they like promote him. And I'm like, that could be me. Like I wish they could do that now, like promote me because I'm doing all these things like being drug free and doing this for the kids, for God, and not just myself. Because I did everything for myself already through all my 20s, and I already messed that up. So this
Mhm.
is for something bigger than me. And I just wish I had more support from like people back home. But I mean, I do have friends that support me, but like the outlets, like the social media, I wish that they can. Like I'm fighting for my people, and I guess I don't know what I got to do for them to promote me and stuff. But for the most
Talk
part,
to them. Have you talked to them?
I'll tag them and stuff, and they don't even post my things, and I'm just like, okay, like I don't know what they're waiting for.
But hey, I mean, you gotta understand, like being an addiction, it takes time.
Yeah.
I'm not saying it hasn't been enough time. You said you're coming up on 4 years, where you've been 4 years,
Mhm.
and that seems like a lot of time. But
Yeah.
sometimes it takes a little bit longer. Like
Yeah.
I'm coming up on 6 years, and I've just recently have built that relationship back with my family. You know what I mean? Like it takes time. It
Yeah.
doesn't just happen. And you definitely can be the face.
Hmm.
Most definitely. There's no reason you can't be. You just have to keep going out there and proving them that you are a totally different person. You're not this Marquis you were 4 years ago, 5 years ago when you were doing all
Guami
this
now.
crazy.
I'm Guami now. Marquis is. I don't know who that is.
Guam, I'm sorry.
No, you're good. You're good. It was a joke. But
My bad, Guami
you're good.
here. So if anyone sees this, from the Guam area,
Yeah.
Guami's here. Guami's in the house. He's getting his shit together. So help this man out.
Yeah.
Um, but for real, I am so proud of you.
Thank you.
For just meeting you. I mean, you truly are an inspiration. And just keep doing the right thing, man. I still have days where I'm like, damn, I want to get high. Don't let those days don't let those days take over.
When
You got
I feel like that, I pray. Like
good.
that I deal with that every single day. I'm like, work could be so much easier if I was high, you know, but it's
Yeah.
I just don't want to like I don't want to like, dude. Once I do that, it's over. It's like I gotta restart. I gotta battle it again. I don't want to do that. I went through so much. I came too far for
Yeah.
yeah. I
And
ain't
that's what it is. That's what you got to think about. Everything you built now. And the thing with addicts, it's not just one. You can't just do one relief and that's it.
mm,
It's gonna be a repeat cycle, and most of the time it comes back worse than the first time.
yeah.
Um, but if is there anything else you want to add in? Can you tell our viewers where we can find you on socials?
Oh yeah, you can find me on Instagram. The Guamaniac MMA. That's me. Uh, I don't really. I go on TikTok just to watch stuff, but I don't really promote my things. It's mainly Instagram and Facebook. You can find me on Facebook, Marquis Pinaula Jones or Marquis Pinaula. Uh, yeah, that's about it, basically. Yeah, and yeah.
Is there anyone you want to shout out?
Uh, want to shout out Alex Castro, who's fighting in May 2nd. I want to shout out Kurt in Tuscaloosa, Cobra Tuscaloosa, and then Cobra Chelsea. Yeah, and all my friends, family back home. And I want to get sponsored by these guys, the Vault Guam. My fiance got me the shirt, so I want to get a sponsor from them. So that'll be cool. Yeah. But yeah, that's about it. That's it for now.
That's awesome. Again, for viewers, make sure to find me at OddSmoker MMA on Instagram and Facebook. My personal Instagram is k.patterson98. Um, and for fighters watching, reach out to me about our sponsorship program. Reach out to me about our merch designs, getting on the podcast, banners, um, promotional graphics. We do it all. So I'd love to work with whoever. Um, but yes, I think unfortunately, I think we're a little technical difficulty. It looks like Guami has froze on me. Oh, you there?
Yeah, I'm here.
Okay, you froze for a minute. That's what I
Oh,
was
I'm
making
sorry. I'm
sure.
sorry.
No, you're good. Thank you again so much for joining me. Definitely love to have you back on during your next camp. We can talk about how camp's going and talk more MMA. This one was, obviously more about your story, what got you in MMA and whatnot. So I say a lot. On your next fight, let's get you on, talk about camp and how
Yeah,
it's going.
for sure. I'll keep you updated.
Awesome. Well, you have a great evening.
You too. I'll see you.
Bye.
Bye.